So hi. I don't really know where to start. I thought I don't know really why I'm making this, but I have absolutely no idea what's going on with me at the minute. I am up and down emotion-wise like a bloody yo-yo. So a lot of my friends and family know that I haven't been very well since, beginning of January, I guess. So it's been quite a long time, at least 7 months now. So I've had to stop living in the van, first off, because of COVID. And then met a fabulous guy, so I moved in with him. So I'm missing van life a little bit. But really, I guess what I want to talk about is me being ill from January. So years ago, when I was about 20, I think I was about 23, 24, I was diagnosed with endometriosis, which is the cells of your womb coming out and attaching themselves to other parts of your body. So when you have your monthly cycle, those cells that are now on the outside of your womb, outside of your ovaries, attached to your bowel or your bladder or any other part of your body, bleed as well, which is incredibly painful. Whole body illness. It makes you extremely tired, fatigued, brain fog. Yeah, it's not pleasant. But it flared up in January. So I've had years and years of it not really doing much. I managed to, get through working, living my life how I want to. So I was diagnosed with a massive cyst on. They thought it was on my right ovary, and then I had a small one on my left ovary. So it was the size of a grapefruit, and then I had a smaller one as well. It turns out then they found that I then was rushed to hospital. The only reason they found it is because I was rushed to hospital. I think it was February. It was when we had massive snow anyway. I just remember there was lots of snow. My partner took me into A&E, and then went on to the ward in Nottingham Hospital, which were amazing. They did a scan, found the massive cyst. I then had to wait. This was January, the ovulation. I then had to wait till March. So I then had surgery in March this year to have the cyst removed and any endo burned off that they could find and clean and tied me up inside. Turns out the mass cyst was on my left ovary rather than my right, and it had pulled my left ovary down behind my womb and attached itself to my bowel. I had extensive and severe endometriosis spreading from my womb, the front of my womb, to my bladder and on my bowel as well. So as you can imagine, it was incredibly painful. Luckily, this was all done through a keyhole, but they couldn't remove the cyst completely because how it had grown and wrapped itself around my ovary, they would have had to remove my ovary. So at the time, my surgeon made a call to leave me my ovary and put me on hormone injections, which kind of puts you into a premenopausal state. So then 2 weeks later, I then started the injections. Everything was fine, I was getting better. Then went to Scotland in the May. I was getting back my life on track, walking up mountains again. Was back camping in the van, life was awesome again. Then 2 weeks after we got back from Scotland, my moods went absolutely haywire again. So for all this time, since I'd been having the injections, up until sort of the middle of May, my moods, every week I was either crying doing the dishes or I was ranting and raving, and the next minute feeling extremely sorry for myself, and I didn't know where I was or what I was doing, and my God, I don't even know how my partner copes with me. I can't even cope with me at the minute. So anyway, I got back from Scotland. 2 weeks later, I didn't feel quite right. I was still going to work and things like that, and then got to the point where I was driving to work one day, and I just thought to myself, I can't do this anymore. Something is not right. Like, it's just, I was literally crying, roaring my eyes out, driving to work. I was like, I can't do this. I don't even know what's wrong. I don't know if it's just hormones or what's going on. So I just rang the doctor. I was like, I just need a break. So they signed me off for a month. It turns out I was then getting pain again. In June, beginning of June. So my partner took me in through A&E again because it was a really severe pain. And then ended up a night on the ward in Nottingham again. I said something isn't quite right. Anyway, they did a scan and they found that I had, for some random reason, they're not sure why, that I had 2 cysts growing again. And they couldn't understand it why, because I've been on this hormone treatment for 3 months. So then, as well as they didn't do any surgery or anything like that, they were sort of saying, we're just going to give you an appointment to speak to your surgeon. So as well as now being on hormone treatment, injections every month, I was then on HRT as well, which I was already on HRT when I started the hormone injections. I was then put on progesterone as well. And I also take a sachet every night, Movicol, because I can't go to the loo because the amount of endo that's on my bowel, it's restricted my bowel. So at this point I'm feeling pretty shit, I'm not gonna lie. Then I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was rushed into hospital again. I was okay, I wasn't feeling great, and then my partner got home from work, and I remember suddenly, it was like a switch, I suddenly felt really poorly. Like, I just felt really not okay. I remember just having to sit down on the kitchen floor. I was like, I was trying to cook dinner. I was like, I just don't feel right, like, at all. Like, I can't say I had massive pain. I really hurt. Morphine wasn't touching it. But I just remember really not being okay. I rang the ward and they said, you need to come in. So I went in, they did a scan, and then one of my cysts, which within 2 weeks had grown from 3 centimetres to about 7. It then ruptured, so I was bleeding inside, which obviously explains why I really wasn't feeling very well. So I then had emergency surgery the next day. They were great about it. They got it sorted and done, which I was really happy about. As well as having to, deal with all the emotional side of and hormone side of this, is having the reality that actually children naturally are going to be pretty impossible. So I've now not only had my left ovary removed, my left ovary removed, but I said to them, if there's any chance that my right ovary will be the same, I want it out, I want it gone, because I want my life back. Like, this is getting to the point where it's 7 months. I know what it's like to live for years without being able to walk, being able to work, being able to enjoy, and I don't want that as my life anymore. I want to be able to get on with my life and enjoy it with my partner and my dog, and so sort of making the decision to say, I'm happy to have my right ovary out if it's going to be similar to my left. Anyway, doctors really aren't keen about a woman deciding with her own body that she's okay, or they've really thought about the process and has really considered all the other options and has really knows her own body. They're really not okay with you deciding what's best for yourself. That's how I felt at the time. So it turns out, they did the surgery, they got rid of my left ovary, got rid of the cysts, they've removed a lot of lesions that they found that had grown within the 3 months as well. They said my right ovary is absolutely fine. Brilliant, okay. The next day I saw another surgeon, and she said when they opened you up, your right ovary is fine, but your right tube is really dilated. There's so much endo restricting your right tube that it's going to be practically impossible to become pregnant. And in my head, I just get so annoyed because the power is consistently taken away from me. I've never had a choice over my body, never. Not in terms of endo or, periods or what makes a woman a woman. And it's just very difficult. So not only, I don't understand why hospitals in a ward where women are having to deal with abortions, with sterilisation, with losing child through miscarriages, through having, their organs have to be removed because of endo, and many other different reasons, there is not people for someone to talk to on a ward. Because I've had to go through all of this and I still have no contact with anybody that can say to me, it's going to be okay. I know it's going to be okay, and it will be okay. I mean, I'm so lucky I've got so many friends and family around me. But right now I'm having a really shit time. And it's just not fair. It's really not fair. I mean, right now I'm getting major hot flushes. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm going hot to cold. And I just wish, I don't know what I wish really, I just wish it would be over and us women wouldn't have to go through this. Just to be able to live a normal life like every other man. It's just not fair. I guess one thing that has helped me is not only having a really supporting partner, but also there's a lot of information online that you can look at. So I think it's Endo UK. Have been really good. I've been able to look at a lot of information and support from them. But there is nobody to physically talk to. When you go to hospital about it, the nurses are really nice, they sit and listen, but they're not specialists in it. When you have to go in for emergency scans at 1 a.m. because you think you're bleeding internally, and then a doctor tells you 30 minutes later that actually your chance of having children is very, very slim, there is no one for you to talk to. How dare someone tell you that at 1 a.m. when there is no support? Your partner's not allowed in, that you're on your own, you're tired, you're angry, you're hurting. Things need to get better. I'm sorry this has been such a down video. I just didn't know how else to get what I'm trying to say out, and I'm just fed up, really. I'm absolutely fed up. I know it's going to get better, but it just feels pretty shit right now. So any lady, any woman that's going through this, I'm with you. I absolutely understand. Sending my love.